Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a long time since I posted any stuff. One has been very busy busy with work, of course. Okay, so usually this time of the year I prepare the grade 9s for IGCSE, so I used the opportunity to prepare these videos, and equally it serves as a revision exercise for them as well. Okay, all right, so today we're going to look at Cambridge IGCSE, of course, May June 2024, paper 2-1. Okay, the programming part. Okay, so I'm just going to jump down to that part quickly. Here we are. Okay, so this one says so I'm not going to take a lot of time in reading all of this in order to save time. So I want us to do this as quickly as possible. So, but I'll just highlight the parts that I think we need to take note of. Of course, we need to take note of everything, but there are key areas that are very important. Okay, so remember that for every variable or array name in italics like this, you must indicate them, you must use them exactly the way that they are written here. Spelling must be the same. Okay, if it is 1D, it must be 1D. If it is 2D, it must be 2D. So all of these are compulsory variables that you must use. Okay, now I haven't mentioned that part. I'm going to be using Python to do this exercise because that's the language approved by the school here, and my students use that as well. So in case you're using any other programming language like Visual Basic or C Sharp, right? Yeah, so you're free to, you can easily tweak it to suit the programming language that you're using. The logic is still the same, it's just that the syntax will have to change. Okay, enough of the long talk, let's jump straight to it. So there are a few things that we need to picture here. It is very, very important for you to picture the problem, because once you have a mental picture of the problem, the whole thing becomes easy for you to solve. So there is a 1D array called clubs. It contains the name of clubs. Okay, so I don't think there's need for this, but let me just do it. So 1D array called clubs, and it's used to store the names of 12 cricket clubs. Okay, so take note of that. And then here, statistics is a 2D array that is used to store the names, okay, used to store for each cricket club the number of their wins, draws, and losses. Okay, so take note of that. And then point, the point is a 1D array that is calculated, that is used to store the total number of points each cricket club has been awarded. So I think this should be calculated here, somewhere here. Yeah, so you calculate the points like this. If there are 2 wins times 12. If there are 3 draws, 3 times 5. And then you do not need to include this part, okay, because it is just going to multiply the whole thing by 0. Okay, so let's jump back here. So we've taken note of statistics already. Now this very part is trying to explain something very important here, that the position for any cricket club's data is the same in all 3 arrays. So let's say, for instance, you have club 1. Club 1's name will be here. Statistics 1, that will be the statistics for club 1. Then the point 1 will be the point for club 1. Okay, so that's just what this part is trying to explain. That's that. Okay, finally we have here that the variable matches stores the number of matches played by each team. Okay, so we need to take note of that as well. Each team plays the same number of matches. All right, so I think with that in mind, we can just jump right in. So let me, I don't know if I should do this, or okay, I can be picking them one after the other. Okay, so let's start from here. So this is always the entry point. Okay, this is always the entry point. Now remember, you do not need to declare. Please take note of that. You do not need to declare the variables or arrays. Okay. But in my case, I am going to declare it because I would want to test the program to see how it works. Okay. But for you, since you'll be writing it on paper, you do not need to declare any of this. Okay. So let's jump straight to business. So I'm going to be ticking this one after the other as we proceed. So let's move from here. Allows the number of matches played to be input and stored with a maximum of 22. Maximum of 22. All right. So let me visualize this first. So I did this to help me have a mental picture of what I'm about to do. I am not a cricket fan, so I don't know names of any cricket club. So I just use the regular football clubs. Man U, Arsenal, Everton, just to give us an idea. So this is the 1D array. Then this is the 2D array that will contain for each of this club win, draw, draws, and losses for Man U. Arsenal, the same thing. Everton, the same thing. As many clubs as you have. So we're supposed to have 12 clubs here. So we're supposed to have the same thing for the 12 clubs. And then for the points, how do we calculate the point? For the win, if the club has 3 wins, you do 3 times 12. 2 draws, 2 times 5. You do not need to include the losses. Okay, you do not need to include it. So that's just the mental picture of what we're about to do. So with this, I think we are better guided in order to be as articulate as possible. Okay, so because we are going to test our code, it is paramount that I do the necessary declaration, which of course on paper it is not necessary. Okay, so this one is supposed to store names of clubs, of names of cricket clubs. Remember, all this part is not necessary. Okay, so the statistics. I hope that's the spelling right. Statistics. So let's be very careful. Okay, statistics. This will store. This will store the match statistics. Okay. Stores. Sorry, I need to comment this out. Stores match statistics for each club, and points. So points stores what does points store again? Stores total number of points. Yeah, stores total number of points for each club. All right, so having done this, I think we can proceed. Okay, so the number of clubs, remember, we're told that they should be 12. Number of clubs, let me go back again. Number of clubs, see it here, should be 12. All right, now I'm not going to use 12 here. I'll just use a simple number for the testing sake. But in your exams, make sure you use 12. That's the way it works. Okay, make sure you use the number given to you. Okay, so I'm just going to do some other declaration, okay, for my personal use here. Minimum games. Let me do minimum games. Main games. What is the minimum number of games a club can have 0 games? Yeah. And then the maximum max games a club. Now, because they said let me go back to this question. They said that there are from the question here, maximum number of, say it here, good. So here is 22 matches. 22 matches. So in max game must be 22. All right. So I haven't done this. We can go straight to this part now. Say allows the number of matches played to be input and stored with a maximum of 22 matches. So let's do that quickly. So we say we can do a comment here. Input number of matches played. Input number of matches played for each. Well, it's okay like this. Input number of matches played. Okay. So we do matches. Remember the variable they gave to us. Where are you? Matches. That's this one. So matches equals, should be integer, of course, and enter number of matches, or how many matches have been played. Enter number of matches. Played. Okay, so each club will of course play the same number of games. Okay, so that's that. So let's jump back to the question. So we have done this, but we need to validate. We need to validate the number of matches played. Okay, so while matches is less than mean games, so if matches played is less than 0, that is no game played, or matches greater than max. So we can check between this and that, between 0 and 22. However, we were only told to validate for the maximum. We're not told to validate for the minimum. So I think it's okay. So what we're doing is more than enough. Okay, so the max will come from here, not really from here, as per the question. All right, so having done this, now we need to re-input or re-enter the matches in case it fails. In case it fails the first time. So we can say wrong entry. Wrong entry. Value must be between 0 to 22. All right, so the maximum is 22. Okay, all right, let's go ahead. I don't think there's any other thing to be done here. Now, having done that, I don't think there's need to test at this stage. I don't think there's need to test, so let's proceed. Okay, so we've done this part. So the next thing we need to do now, allows the number of cricket clubs to be input and stored. Allow the names of the cricket clubs. So we need to take the names of the cricket clubs. Now remember, we're supposed to have 12, but for our sake we're using 3 here. So that is actually the reason I declared it, so that anytime I want to change this, I can easily come and change it to 12. Okay, so let's do that quickly. Let's say for count in range, which is number of clubs. Okay, all right, so we need to take the names of each of the clubs. So we'll say clubs dot append So let's say number of let's drop a message here. Enter name of club. Of club 1. So let's do plus here. So we'll say enter name of club 1. So this one will allow the user to enter the name of the first club and then the second club in that order. Okay, up until the last club. So that's that. Allows, okay, so that's that. So please comment. Very, very important. Okay, so I think I can just copy this. Okay, allow the club names to be entered. And then I need to do this comment too. Very important, please. Please. Okay, that's that. Okay, so this will serve as the comment. Please, comments are very, very important. Meaningful variable names are very, very important. Okay, so after doing this, I would have gotten all the clubs entered. So what's the next thing to do? Allows the number of matches won, drawn, or lost to be input and stored for each team. So for each team, now we can choose to put this inside of here or run another loop. So I choose to run another loop. And call this count again. In range, number of clubs. Okay, so here we need to take the number of wins, the losses, and all of that. So let me get my comment again. Now, when you're solving this problem in the exam, you don't need to write all of these comments. Shorten the comment. So the reason I'm doing this is because I have the soft copy, so I could just copy and paste. Okay, please. Okay, so remember, we need the wins, the draws, and the losses. Okay, so what we're going to do, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to declare a variable inside of 3 of them. Win, draws, and losses. Okay, win, draw, losses. Okay, so I'm going to make them 0, each of them, and then I need to store them somewhere. So let me say start is this. So let me store it here. Okay, so let me comment here. So this one is going to store the statistics for each club. Statistics for each club. Okay, what else do I need to do? So that's what I'm trying to do here. So I want to see if I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So I need to validate at once. Okay, validate the number of matches won, drawn against the number of matches played. So let me do this and validate at the same time. So here now, let me validate. So while the matches, remember, while matches is not equal to wins plus losses plus draws. Yeah, wins plus losses plus draws. So why this is not the case? So if they are not equal, keep the user in a loop, okay, until the user complies with this. So we can say print you can say print what message will be suitable. What message will be suitable? Enter my statistics. Okay. Say enter match statistics. Why do I keep spelling the statistics with double T? What's wrong with me? Okay. So now you need to give the user a tip. A tip. Match statistics. This is a problem. Match statistics must be equal to games played. And what is the game played? The game played is matches, remember? Right? So the number of matches played. Okay, so I think this should work. This should work. I want this video to be as short as possible. So I'm not going to be trying this program. In case I have issues, I can come back and correct them. Okay. So I hope I won't have lots of issues. Okay. So what do I need to do here? So I haven't done this now. You need to take your wins. So wins equals, of course, it should be integer. Input. You can just do wins. And then the person enters the wins there. So let me just copy and paste in order to make life easy for me. Draws, and then paste again. Losses. Okay, so once we do this, that will be it. And then remember that we created this here in order to store the statistics for each club. Okay, so we can just do stats equals wins, draws, losses. That's that. Okay, so we have stored that for each club. Okay, I've stored that for each club. What else do we need to do? We have stored that for each club. Let's go back. Validate the number of matches won, draw, loss. Ask the user to re-enter the number of matches draw. So we've done this. So we've done this. 1, 2. Now calculate this. Calculate and store the total number of points for each club. Okay, so how do we do that? So we need to verify. So the next thing we need to do is that once we are done entering this, so we now need to do statistics, statistics.append. Now, what are we appending? We are appending the stats for each club. Okay, so once this test is passed, we now come here. Okay, so after that, so we're done with this. We now need to calculate and store the number of points. Okay, so let me copy this again. No, yeah. So let's calculate and store the number of points. So I'm going to comment this. Comment this. Okay, so calculate and store the number of points. So we would need a loop again to do it for each club. All right, for each club. So we'll say for, let me use count in range, number of clubs. So we need to calculate the points. So let's have points. Each of the points will be the statistics for each of the clubs, times, okay, each of the club, so this is for the number of wins. Remember, the number of wins is the first entry here. See here, first entry times 12 plus statistics count, that is for each of the club, times 5, right? Let's go back again and see. Times 12 times 5. So we do not need to include the losses, okay? Because the losses will equally account to 0. There's something that we missed here. That will be 1. Remember 0, 1, 2. Yeah, that's why we have 0 there, 1. So there's no need for 2, because 2 will amount to nothing. Okay, so I haven't done that part for each of them. So we can now, remember, we have a variable here called point, an array called point that stores the points for each of the clubs. So we've calculated the point for this club, so now we need to store it. Okay, so you can do points dot append, that we are appending. Right. So this is what we're doing now. You can as well push all of this inside of here to still work. Like take all of this and push them in here, it will still work. But I just wanted to split them out for clarity's sake. That is why I'm doing that. Okay. All right. So after doing that, what next do we do? Let's go back to the question. Question says find the cricket club or clubs with the highest number of points. So we need to take the highest number of points, which is the maximum point. So let me copy this. So I'm just trying to show you how you can use the question, ideas from the question as your comments. Okay, so first thing we need to do, let's use a variable called max point, which will be, I want to use a Python function here called max to get the maximum point. Now this very part is debatable. Some persons may say no, don't use functions, calculate it using a loop and all of that. However, I think this can work because I've seen a past question where functions are equally allowed in the max scheme as well. So please let me know if you think it is okay to use function here. Let me know. If you think it's not okay, let me know as well. And if you think it's wrong, you can come up with evidence to back your claim. Okay, thank you. Okay, so we want to get the maximum of all the points. Okay, now once we get the maximum of all the points, we can now go ahead to display. Okay, so output the name of the clubs or the names of winning data. So let me pick this up. So this one has already given us the maximum point, and then let me comment this. This is quite long. The output the name or names of winning clubs. Okay, let me do this way. So this is quite long. You do not have to use it as long as it is like this. Just make it short. Okay. All right, so here we are. So we will need a loop actually, but before the loop, let's do print winning club or clubs. Okay, as the case may be, winning club or clubs. And then we need a loop. Say for Let me use count again. Count in range number of clubs, or count in range number of clubs. Now we will do if max point, if max point is equal to points count, is equal to points count. Why are we doing this? We're doing this because this is the maximum point. So anywhere we say that the maximum point is equal, so it can be for one club, it can be for two clubs, it can be for three clubs. As long as the club has the maximum point, it is going to display it. Okay, so that's what we will do. So if that is the case, then print, let me use my formatting here. Print, so we'll print the club name. We'll print the club name. What else do we need to do? They say print the club name. The number of wins. Okay, the number of wins. So we need to get the number of wins. Okay, so let me do that on the new line. Wins. So the wins will be taken from statistics, right? Yeah, the wins will be taken from statistics, which will be count 0. Remember, the wins is at 0. See, wins here 0. Okay, draws and all of that. So what we need is the win, and then we need the total point, the total point of the club, of course, which will be the max point. The total point of the club, which will be the max point. So we can do this. Let's do this. Total point. Total points. This. And then so we can just use the max point, or we can use point. So any of them you use will be fine. It will give you the result that you seek. To give you the result that you seek. So let's do this. Okay, so I think this works. It should work. It should work. Let me think a bit. It should work. This should work. Okay, so I believe this should work. So let's try. So remember, I decided to use 3 clubs. Okay, so let's run this program and see if it's working. Oh my god. Enter number of matches played. Okay, so since we're using only 3 clubs, for 3 clubs you can only play 2 games. Yeah, you can't play yourself, right? Okay, so enter match statistics. Match statistics must be equal to games played. So 2 games. So number of wins. So something went wrong here. We were not asked to enter the names of the club, so we need to go backtrack a bit. That's why it's good to test these programs. Okay, so I think our problem is very simple. We're supposed to take input here, right? We're supposed to take input there, but we didn't. So that's the challenge that we have. I think we also did the same thing along any other place. Please, let's confirm. Okay, so there's something else we need to add here for clarity. Enter my statistics for, let's include the club names. Okay, club count, so that we can be sure of what club that we're dealing with. Okay, so having done this, let's try again. Enter club name. So 2 games played. Man U Arsenal, Everton. So wins. So let's say two wins. Okay, let's put up. Okay, so here, if you watch it has already told you that it's requesting for Man U's statistics now. So let's deliberately introduce error here, because since there are two games played, the statistics must not be more than two. Okay, it must be equal to two. So let's try and see if it's going to request for Man U's statistics again. Okay, so that means that works. Okay, so 2-0-0. Now for Arsenal, so let's say Arsenal 1-1, drew 1, lost none. And then for Everton 1-0, drew 1, lost 1. Aha, there is a problem here. So let's see where the problem is coming from. So at the point where we're printing the marks, okay, so it looks like everything was working well until this point. Here. Oh, this should be like this, sorry. Yeah. So this should solve the problem. So now we need to start all over again. Okay, enter number of matches played. So there are two games played. Since there are three clubs, so I hope there will be no more mistakes this time around. Arsenal, Everton. Okay, so for Man U, 2 wins, no loss, no draw. For Arsenal, 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss. For Everton, no win, 1 draw, 1 loss. Aha. So this will give you winning clubs. A club, Man U with 2 wins, total points, 24 points. Now, remember in the exam you're not doing all of this, okay? So there will be room for some syntax errors, okay? There'll be room for some syntax errors and minor syntax errors like this one I just did here. Should be forgiven, okay? So let me just run this test one more time to try for what if we have two clubs that have 2 maximum points. So number of matches at the game played 2, clubs, Man U, Arsenal, and then Everton. Okay, so let's say for Man U drew 1, 1-1, drew 1, lost none. Everton, Arsenal again 1-1, drew 1, and lost none. So at this point, the two clubs should have the same point. So both of them should win. And then for this last guys, they won none, drew 1, lost 1. So let's see the result. Expectedly, we're supposed to have Man U and Arsenal being displayed here. Okay. Aha. So Man U 1 win, 2.17. Arsenal the same thing, 1 win, 2.17. So at this point, I think this program has run successfully. Okay, so please look at this code again, try it. Let me know if you have any comments, any mistakes you think you noticed, anything we need to fix. And then if there's any year in particular you want me to treat, any particular question, please do well to put it in the comments section. I'm sorry if this video took long. I was trying to explain and code at the same time. Thank you all. I'll see you again in the next video. Bye for now. Okay, so there's something else we need to add here for clarity. Enter my statistics for, let's include the club names. Okay, club count, so that we can be sure of what club that we're dealing with. Okay, so having done this, let's try again. Enter club. So 2 games played. Man U, Arsenal, Everton. So wins. So let's say 2 wins. Okay, let's put up. Okay, so here, if you watch it has already told you that it's requesting for Man U's statistics now. So let's deliberately introduce error here, because since there are 2 games played, the statistics must not be more than 2. Okay, it must be equal to 2. So let's try and see if it's going to request for Man U's statistics again. Okay, so that means that works. Okay, so 2 0 0. Now for Arsenal, so let's say Arsenal 1-1, drew 1, lost none. And then for Everton 1 none, drew 1, lost 1. Aha, there is a problem here. So let's see where the problem is coming from. So at the point where we're printing the marks, okay, so it looks like everything was working well until this point. Here. Oh, this should be like this, sorry. Yeah. So this should solve the problem. So now we need to start all over again. Okay, enter number of matches played. So there are 2 games played. Since there are 3 clubs, so I hope there will be no more mistakes this time around. Arsenal, Everton. Okay, so for Man U, 2 wins, no loss, no draw. For Arsenal, 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss. For Everton, no win, 1 draw, 1 loss. Aha. So this will give you winning clubs. A club, Man U, with 2 wins, total points 24 points. Now remember, in the exam you're not doing all of this. Okay, so there will be room for some syntax errors. Okay, there'll be room for some syntax errors, and minor syntax errors like this one I just did here should be forgiven. Okay, so let me just run this test one more time to try for what if we have 2 clubs that have 2 maximum points. So number of matches at the gameplay 2, clubs, Man U, Arsenal, and then Everton. Okay, so let's say for Man U drew 1, and 1-1, drew 1, lost none. Everton, Arsenal again 1-1, drew 1, and lost none. So at this point, the 2 clubs should have the same point. So both of them should win. And then for this last guys, they won none, drew 1, lost 1. So let's see the result. Expectedly, we're supposed to have Man U and Arsenal being displayed here. Okay. Aha. So Man U 1 win, 2.17. Arsenal the same thing, 1 win, 2.17. So at this point, I think this program has run successfully. Okay, so please look at this code again, try it. Let me know if you have any comments, any mistakes you think you noticed, anything we need to fix. And then if there's any year in particular you want me to treat, any particular question, please do well to put it in the comments section. I'm sorry if this video took long. I was trying to explain and code at the same time. Thank you all. I'll see you again in the next video. Bye for now.